The war in Ukraine has caused more than 15 million people to leave their homes. Initially, the displaced people were accommodated by the authorities in schools and kindergartens as temporary solution. Then most of them have moved to individual housing in the houses of friends, families, or in rented houses. But some of them who had less resources are still living in common accommodation centers arranged by the authorities. Out of 1.5 million children of school age, only 20% are enrolled in the local schools in the place where they are relocated. The rest of them continue education online with their school of origin. The children and the parents have to deal with the psychological trauma caused by the war, the relocation, and the uncertain future. The need for mental health and psychosocial support is recognized as one of the immediate needs of the people in humanitarian crisis. The United Nations has recently launched the Humanitarian Response Plan for 2023. The humanitarian assessment shows that more than 17 million people are in need of humanitarian assistance, and the plan targets more than 11,000 out of them. The total cost for this intervention is $3.9 billion, money that are still being raised around the world. Terre des Hommes has been working in Ukraine since 2015, and our initial offices were in Severodonetsk and Mariupol, two of the most heavily affected cities during the initial phase of the war. Our team had to relocate in Ukraine and abroad. We have gathered the team in southwest Ukraine, and we restarted our work in May 2022. Since then, Terre des Hommes has been offering basic life support for people who had to relocate, leaving their life behind, and tried to help the systematic response to accommodate these people in the new locations. We have distributed food, hygiene items, and supplies for children who went to school. We have supported the arrangement of the new common accommodation centers for IDPs, which were established by the authorities. We are providing psychological support to children and their families through mobile teams who are reaching out in the communities where the people affected from the war have resettled. And we are also establishing spaces in schools where the children can have recreational activities to improve their psychological well-being and to develop their social skills. We are assisting the social service institutions who are overwhelmed by the need of the people by hiring social workers, providing training, and offering resources so that they can reach the most in need people. We are also partnering with organizations who are active in other regions of the country. So we have helped people in Zaporizhia, where civilian buildings are often attacked, and we have helped 28 schools in 7 regions to improve the bomb shelters so that the children are not further traumatized when they have to take shelter during the class hours. Since we have restarted activities, Terre des Hommes has helped more than 35,000 people. During our activities, we are facing different difficulties. The first and maybe biggest of them is the air raid alarms and the power cuts, which force us to go into shelters, and it's slowing our activity. Our colleagues, many of them internally displaced as well, are affected by a very high workload and the very new and changing context. We have to support them to be able to continue their activity. Of course, one of our ongoing challenges is the need for funding. The humanitarian response does not even plan to cover the need of all the people who are in need. We are constantly striving to attract more funds to support our activities. Not all the 17 million people are included in the response plans, so the need is higher than what is being planned for support. We also need flexible funding, which allows us to respond to the unexpected and quick changes and offer assistance to the most in need immediately when they need it.